Mallorca is one of the world's main tourist destinations. Its scenery, its climate, its people and its culture are all a guarantee of quality and well-being. Mallorca has a modern, advanced service society, but like all societies, it generates waste. In the late 20th century, there was a proliferation of uncontrolled tips on the island, a threat for our environment and for our image. Since 2010, this problem belongs to the past. Thanks to the work done by everyone pulling together and Mallorca's Conseil Authority, we became one of the first places in the world to achieve zero dumping. The island has some of the world's best facilities, located in Mallorca Environmental Technology Park, to guarantee proper treatment of waste. This is a public service managed as a concession by Tirme company. Mallorca Environmental Technology Park. To manage waste properly, everyone's cooperation is highly important. It is vital for people to separate waste at source, at home. This work makes later treatment a great deal easier and means waste can be turned into a resource. The idea is very clear, going from the idea of using and throwing away to throwing away and using. Transporting the waste to the park is organised depending on the geographical point from which this comes. The waste brought from locations closer to the Environmental Technology Park is transported directly. Waste from further afield first goes through the transfer stations in order to optimise as far as possible the loads of the trucks that finally take the waste to the park. The 5 transfer stations on the island are strategically located in Alcudia, Binissalem, Calvia, Campos and Manacor. When they reach the transfer station, the different types of waste are unloaded at the supply mouth, where the waste is compacted through a hydraulic press inside sealed containers to reduce its volume. In any event, the ultimate destination of all the waste is the technology park, and specifically the different treatment plants. Light Packaging Selection Plant. The light packaging selection plant is where the material from yellow selective collection containers comes, including plastic packages, Tetra Brick packs and cans. The waste goes onto the discharging area, where a machine opens the bags and tips the contents into the feeder. This feeder is a belt which leads to the pre-selection cabin, at which the different items are manually separated. After the pre-selection has been made, the packages go on to a rotating cylindrical sieve and are gradually separated by fraction and volume. At the end of the process, they come out in compact bales, which will be sent to other recycling companies. Apart from the technological side, the human and social facet also has a role to play at this plant, as workers are employed from the Deixalles Foundation for assisting social and job integration. Methanization plant. The methanization plant treats sludges from wastewater purifiers and the organic fraction of urban waste. After this material has been inserted in a digester, a biological process takes place through the action of bacteria in the absence of air at a specific temperature. This results in a biogas with a high methane content, which is used as fuel for producing electrical energy. Composting plant. The composting plant receives the organic fraction from selective collection, pruning remains, purifier sludge from wastewaters, and the solid fractions stemming from the methanization plant. After all these items have been mixed with crushed wood and branches, they start to be treated to obtain compost, which acts as a nutrient, i.e., as a plant fertilizer. Plant for solar sludge drying. The plant for solar sludge drying takes the sludge from wastewaters that cannot be treated either in the methanization plant or in the composting plants. Here, the sludge is dried through solar radiation and with the aid of a robot which turns this over. After drying the sludge, it will be used as an alternative fuel with a view to producing electric energy. Incineration plant with electric energy recovery. The incineration plant with electric energy recovery has the task of treating mass waste that people could not separate at their homes and that they have placed in the general rubbish container. This means that only the waste that cannot be recycled is burned. The incineration gives off hot gases generating vapour and electrical energy. Applying the 2006 Waste Plan, the incineration plant has recently been extended with 2 new lines. This means that it now has 4 lines in all. The work, which has enabled finally reaching zero dumping, involved an investment of €276 million and incorporated some of the best, latest generation techniques. This has involved improving the emissions levels, incinerating more types of waste, and ensuring that 50% of the energy obtained through the incineration is considered renewable according to the National Renewable Energies Action Plan. Today, the Son Reus plant is producing an amount of electricity equivalent to the consumption of 53,000 households. Slag treatment plant. The slag treatment plant handles basically unburned waste, ceramics, scrap iron, and other non-combustible items from the incineration plant. At the end of the process, this produces net slag or mineral fraction, which can be used as aggregate for making concrete or as the subbase for roads. The metal fraction is sent for recycling. Safety dump. The safety dump is the area used to store the ash or residues from gas purification proceeding from incineration, which are mixed with water and cement to make them inert. To prevent any possible contamination of underground waters, special care has been taken with waterproofing the base of the area. Centre for Environmental Information and Education. The Centre for Environmental Information and Education of the Environmental Technology Park is a spectacular but functional cube-shaped building with modules built from agglomerates from recycling products. The main features outside it are a large lake integrated with the building, a group of sculptures made with recycled metal, and the monorail train, which gives visitors a convenient and smooth trip around the different treatment plants so they can learn and understand what is done at the park. Though this can be a venue for all types of events, the Centre for Environmental Information and Education has the basic aim of acting as a space for raising awareness and giving environmental re-education to anyone visiting the centre. It contains different areas such as the events room, the activities workshops, and several rooms for training and offices, amongst others. Canut buildings. The buildings known as Casas de Canut house the Centre for Management and Administration of Tirme, the company with the insular public service concession for processing the island's waste, owned by Mallorca's Consell Authority. Plan for Environmental Supervision and Measures. The proper operation and maintenance of the plants is ensured by the Plan for Environmental Supervision and Measures. Checks are regularly made inside and outside the technological perimeter. on underground and surface waters, the soil, emissions into the atmosphere, and so on. Studies are also made of the air quality, of the generation of noise, of smells, and other specific checks for each plant, as is the case of the emissions at both the incineration plant with energy recovery and the methanization plant. The reuse of byproducts, such as slag, ash or compost, is fostered, and there is a commitment to constant improvement with a view to ensuring the utmost conservation of natural resources. Follow-up Commission. The Follow-up Commission is a collegiate body for participation, consultancy and advice in non-dangerous waste field under the Environmental Ministry of Mallorca's Consell Authority. It has the main aims of guaranteeing active participation of different social agents, acting as a consultative body and advising the ministry under which it is run. It is made up of political and technical personnel from Mallorca's Consell and the Balearic Islands Govern authorities, and one representative of each of the political parties of the islands. Representatives of different professional associations, groups and concerns, such as the Balearic Islands University, are also members of this. Renewable energies. Tirme has a firm commitment to sustainability and renewable energies. 50% of the energy obtained at the incineration plant with energy recovery is considered renewable according to the National Action Plan for Renewable Energies. The car park at Casas de Can Canut has a photovoltaic system which transforms the sun's energy into electric power and also acts as a sunshade for vehicles. The installation of 4 small aerogenerators has recently been completed at the light packaging selection plant. An electric car has recently been purchased for internal travel in the park and to nearby zones. Taking care of the environment is vital for our well-being and also for our economy, based mainly on tourism. Our scenery and our climate are the basic appeals leading us to being visited by millions of people every year. When we take care of the environment, we improve our quality of life and ensure a better future. We are succeeding by all working together.